today we filed a wrongful death case.
The family of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins, who was shot and killed while filming the movie Rust, taking action.
The lawsuit names Alec Baldwin and others whose reckless behavior and cost-cutting led to the senseless and tragic death of Halyna Hutchins.
Attorneys filing a wrongful death lawsuit on behalf of Hutchins' husband and her 9-year-old son against actor Alec Baldwin, production companies, and certain personnel associated with the film.
There are many people culpable, but Mr. Baldwin was the person holding the weapon that, but for him shooting it, she would not have died.
The fact that the family filed a lawsuit isn't that surprising. What's surprising is how aggressively they're going after Alec Baldwin. They're not just suing Alec Baldwin in his capacity as a producer. They're suing Alec Baldwin as the person who recklessly fired that weapon.
Baldwin has repeatedly insisted in the past that he never pulled the trigger of the gun and that it accidentally discharged while rehearsing a scene on the New Mexico set. Officials say that without Baldwin knowing, the weapon, a Colt .45 revolver, was loaded with a bullet. In a statement, an attorney for Baldwin and other producers of Rust disputed the lawsuit's claims that they didn't follow safety protocols, saying any claim that Alec was reckless is entirely false. He, Halyna, and the rest of the crew relied on the statement by the two professionals responsible for checking the gun, that it was a cold gun, meaning there is no possibility of a discharge, blank or otherwise.
No one should ever die with a real gun on a make-believe movie set. That should never happen.
The latest twist in the tragic saga comes nearly 4 months after the shooting that shocked Hollywood. An investigation by the Santa Fe Sheriff's Department is also ongoing, and no one has been criminally charged as of now. Baldwin recently returned to acting on a film set in England. The actor called returning to work strange in this Instagram video posted last week.
I haven't worked since October 21st of last year, when this horrible thing happened on the set of this film, and the accidental death of our cinematographer, Halyna Hutchins. I even still find that hard to say.
The lawsuit filed by the Hutchins family states defendant Baldwin and the other defendants in this case failed to perform industry-standard safety checks and follow basic gun safety rules while using real guns to produce the movie Rust, with fatal consequences.
Alec Baldwin's going to have a two-pronged defense. First of all, there's a legal argument that this case doesn't even belong in the courts because it's a workplace incident. But assuming that this case makes it into a courtroom, I'd presume that Alec Baldwin is going to say this was simply an accident.
Do you hope that this is able to impact the film industry moving forward?
Well, there are regulations and guidelines in place today that should prevent something like this from happening, but they need to be enforced.
Attorneys also shared text messages from crew members sent to production staff, relaying safety concerns on set in the days ahead of the shooting. Lawyers also unveiled an animated video rendering of what they say took place from the moment Baldwin received the gun to when it goes off, in an effort to show that he was reckless.
Marker? Good.
In an interview with ABC's George Stephanopoulos last December, the actor gave his account of what happened that fateful day, saying he was pointing the gun at Hutchins at her instruction, and it went off without him pulling the trigger.
I think the big question, and the one you must have asked yourself 1,000 times, how could this have happened?
All of what happened on that day leading up to this event was precipitated on one idea, and that is that Halyna and I had something profound in common. And that is, we both assumed the gun was empty, other than those, dummy rounds. That day, I did exactly what I've done every day on that movie.
Baldwin explained that he was preparing for a big shootout scene when he was handed the gun.
I'm handed a gun, and someone declares, they said, this is a cold gun. In my years on the sets of film, hot gun meant that there was a charge in there, and cold gun meant there was nothing in there. When he's saying this is a cold gun, what he's saying to everybody on the set is, you can relax. The gun is empty.
That's what cold gun means.
Well, cold gun means there's no charge in there. There could be dummy rounds.
A dummy round looks like a real bullet, but is completely inert. It contains no explosive charge. Baldwin, director Joel Souza, and Hutchins were rehearsing the scene.
So then I said to her, now in this scene, I'm going to cock the gun. And I said, do you want to see that? And she said, yes. So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I said, do you see that? She goes, well, just cheat it down and tilt it down a little bit like that. And I cock the gun and I go, can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
At the moment, the decisive
That was the moment the gun went off, yeah. That was the moment the gun went off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger.
The family is saying that Alec Baldwin should have checked that weapon. Alec Baldwin should have done better training before trying this move. That's very different than the way Alec Baldwin has been portraying himself. As up to this point, Alec Baldwin has almost been portraying himself as a victim.
Hutchins' family isn't specifying a number for how much they want to be compensated for their loss, but they are clear that they want accountability.
Realistically, what do you hope the end goal is here? What are you hoping to achieve?
When we hear all this about the celebrity and things that's involved, don't lose track of it. It is a young boy who will never have a mother, and it's a man who lost his wife, and we need to hold the people responsible.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.